Hello everybody, how goes it? Rabbit S'more here, and this is my tutorial for an automatic replanting wheat farm in 1.9 of Minecraft. And if you're looking for a version before 1.9, I also have tutorials for those in my channel, so you can find those there. But anyways, this is a specific build for 1.9, and how it works is we have our fully grown wheat farm here. I have a villager in the back ready to come out and plant whenever. All I have to do is push my button out front. The water is dispensed from my dispensers, the wheat and the seeds get pushed into this front water channel, and the wheat will get collected by the item sorters in the bottom for me to pick up later, and the seeds will go down into a channel in the bottom and go over into an item elevator. And once they're ready to get pushed up, the item elevator activates, launching the seeds up top to our villager and unlocking his door. So now, whenever he's ready, he'll come out, pick up the seeds, and replant the whole farm. So yeah, completely automatic replanting farm. It takes care of itself. So let's get into building it. Alright, so let's quickly go over our grocery list for this build of the blocks that we'll be needing. I'm going to check my chest here. And so what we'll be needing is about a stack of your favorite building block, about a stack and a half of some glass, 10 repeaters, 3 comparators, 2 blocks of redstone, 1 button, 3 dispensers, 2 pistons, 5 sticky pistons, about 51 redstone, 9 redstone torches, 7 hoppers and a pressure plate, 16 fences, 5 trap doors, 2 chests, 1 door, and 3 buckets of water. Okay, so make sure you have plenty of space above ground for your farm and find a good spot for it. And find about where the center of your farm is going to be. So I'm going to choose right here. And we're going to place our block that's going to have our button on top. So go ahead and put that button on top of there. And then go forward 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, and on that third block, place your first fence. And to the left and right of that, we're going to place 7 more fence. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the same thing on the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And place a 2 tall pillar on the ends of each of those sides. And once you have those, we're going to place 6 pieces of glass going this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and another pillar there. And then heading back over to the right here, we're going to have 2 pieces of glass and our first dispenser. But below that dispenser, we're going to break out 2 blocks, place one of our own, place a redstone torch, and put our dispenser on top of that, facing towards the inside. And then on the right side of this dispenser, 3 more pieces of glass and another pillar here. And we're going to do the same thing on this other side. 6 pieces of glass towards the back. So that's 6 there. Another pillar. 2 towards the inside, another dispenser, so break out 2, our own block, a redstone torch, and a dispenser facing inwards, 3 more pieces of glass, and another pillar here. And then go back all the way around on top of these fences and between all of these pillars and put glass blocks. Alright, so once you have your glass blocks going all the way around, we're going to go around back to our opening here, which make sure you didn't put any glass here, and we're going to work on our villager's house. So coming out from this side, we're going to put 2 pieces of glass, and then 3 pieces of our building blocks, and then 2 more on the back, 2 more going back towards the gate, and 2 more pieces of glass. And then we're going to go up to the next layer and do the same thing. Glass, building blocks all the way around, and more glass here. And now you can place blocks over the top here to put a ceiling onto your villager's house. And going down this center alley here, we're going to break out all of these blocks all the way up to the fence here, and leave the block underneath that fence and replace these with our own blocks, just so it makes it a little easier to work with. And then inside of our villager's house, we can place the pressure plate that's going to be all the way against the back, and his door, which will be right in front of the pressure plate. And then right in front of this door, we're going to break out 2 blocks here, place a sticky piston facing straight up, and toss a block on top of that one there. And then in front of this little gate area here, at this block here, break this out, and we're going to place our last dispenser facing straight up like this. And this one does not need a redstone torch underneath it like the other ones did. Some of the last things that we're going to do while we're still above ground is go up to our gate area here in front of our villager house, and we'll need a block going right over the top there. That'll stop our items from our item elevator shooting way up into the air. So just make sure you have a block going over the top of right there. And over in front of your fences here, we're just going to break out all of the blocks underneath all of these fences going all the way across. Alright, once you've dug that out, we're going to go into our center piece of fence here and put another piece of fence down there, which will connect to both sides here. And then we're going to want path blocks from 1.9 on both sides of this fence. So the path block is a grass block that is right-clicked with a shovel and turns into a path. This will help with our item sorters later on. So we want these here. So these blocks will have to be grass, which you can either use Silk Touch to get a piece of grass and put that block there, or you can put dirt there on both sides and then make a trail of dirt leading from grass blocks with plenty of lighting, and eventually the grass will spread onto the dirt blocks and go down into that area. So once you do have grass blocks on either side of this fence though, make sure that you right click them with a shovel so that they're path blocks just like this. Alright, with our water channel ready to go, we can start working on our area down below where our redstone will be. So going to your leftmost piece of fence here, we're going to go back 3 blocks, so 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to break out 4 blocks here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And optionally, you may want to put a trapdoor and some ladders here, but you can also just build a staircase down, whatever you want to do. I'm going to put a trapdoor here and some ladders so that I can get myself back out. But once you have this set up, facing towards the farm, we're going to drop down into our hole here and start doing some digging. So facing towards the right here, which is now where my ladder is on my right, we're going to do a 3 tall tunnel like this, and it's going to go 8 blocks back. So that was already 1, then 2, 3, 4, and do this until you have 8 blocks going that direction, 3 tall. Alright, once you have that dug out, you should be able to see the block that we placed earlier that has our button on top of it and 1 block past that. And remember to bring a couple torches down here because it could get kind of dark and you don't want your creepers spawning down here. So now we're going to go back to our area where we dug in and head to the left side, and we're going to do the same thing, a 3 tall tunnel, but this time it's going to go 14 blocks back. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and do that 14 times going to the back. Alright, since there's a lot of digging going on here and a lot of blocks to be cleared out, you may want to be pausing between these instructions so that you can keep up. But once you have the 8 long tunnel here and the 14 to the left, what we're going to do is clear out all of the blocks between these two until we have a large rectangle. So start clearing out these middle blocks here until you have a huge rectangle between this corner and this corner. And make sure not to break out any blocks you placed earlier, like your sticky pistons or your grass path blocks or anything else. Alright, so once you're done, you should have an area that looks like this. Again, a rectangle going from corner to corner. And again, be very careful not to break out the blocks that you placed earlier, but if you do, just go ahead and replace them. And if you do break out this one, make sure it has a redstone torch on top of it when you replace it. But moving on, we're going to start working on our redstone coming from our button up top, which we know is above this block here. So go down 2 blocks, place one of your own, go down to the diagonal on the right, and place 2 more blocks here. And then right beneath the button, we're going to place a piece of redstone dust, a torch going off to the side of that block, 2 more redstone dust, and a torch going out to this left side here. And from this point forward in the tutorial, I'm going to start putting quartz on the floor wherever I'm going to be placing redstone, just so it's easier for you to see. Alright, so moving forward, we're going to place redstone dust going from here to the corner where our entry is, right beneath it, and then out 2 blocks. Once you have that there, I'm going to place a sticky piston facing straight out this direction so it extends using that redstone signal. And then right next to this piston where the face now is, we're going to break out 2 blocks and 4 wide here. I'm going to move this torch over for our light. So again, you have a 4 wide area that's 2 tall. And in the back corner, we're going to place a hopper. On the right side, we're going to sneak and place a hopper on that side, break the original one, and then sneak and place a hopper going there so that they're facing into each other here. And then next to this right hopper, we're going to place a comparator facing out towards this wall. That's going to go into a solid block with a piece of redstone next to it. And then we're going to have another sticky piston here that's going to face towards this other sticky piston. And in between those, we're going to place a block of redstone there. And in the back, now that we have our hopper timer going here, we can put our timer blocks on the inside. So on either of these hoppers, it doesn't matter which one you choose, open it up and toss in 46 of any stackable block. Cobblestone is obviously easy to find, so just toss those in there, and now our hopper timer is set for when we start using it. Alright, so now we can start working on our villager's locking and unlocking door. So going from this redstone dust next to our hopper timer, going to have a repeater going towards this back corner. It's going to go into a solid block with a redstone torch on the other side so that that will be turned off. And that's going to go straight into a normal piston with a block of redstone next to it. And then we'll have another piston facing back towards that block in that back corner. Now, going back towards the sticky piston that we placed earlier in the video, we know that our villager will be standing at this back block here on top of the pressure plate. So going down 2 blocks from there, we're going to place a block and down to the diagonal spot there. And up on top, we're going to place redstone dust on each of these and 2 more on the ground. Going from there, we'll have a repeater, which is going to go into a sticky piston that's in the ground facing straight up like this. Put a solid block on top of that, and another repeater on the other side going into this back piston here. Now, coming out from this redstone block here, we're going to have redstone dust going 5 blocks out here, which is going to go into the same kind of stair like this. So up 1 and over, and then just a piece of redstone dust here, which will power the sticky piston, which locks the door up above. Alright, so we have a bit more digging before we can start hooking up our dispensers up above. So starting from the sticky piston that's closing the village door, we're going to go over 2 blocks to the right, so 1 and 2. And starting from this top left block, we're going to dig a 3x3 area out, just like this, 3 wide, 3 tall. And then do that 3 more times going towards the back. So 1, 2, and 3. Make sure not to break this block that we placed earlier. If you do, make sure to put a redstone torch on top of that again. Alright, so now we can start hooking up our dispensers from our button signal that we made earlier. So head back to where our button area was here, where this unlit torch is, and going from there we're going to have a repeater going straight out, set to 2 ticks, so right click that to go to 2 ticks, and then redstone dust going 1, 2, 3, 4, and into another repeater there. And then from here in front of this repeater, we need a piece of redstone dust, 2 more to the left, and then to the right all the way into this back corner over here. From this back corner, we're going to have a repeater going into a solid block with a redstone torch on top, and the same thing on this left side, a repeater going into a solid block with a redstone torch, which will turn on the dispensers up above. So to hook up our third dispenser, which is here in the center, we're going to place a solid block underneath that one. So make sure you sneak and place the block there so that you don't open it up. And going from here, we're going to go down into the right diagonal, break that block out, put another one off to the right, and down and right diagonal again, so it should look like this once you have these blocks set up. And going up from this bottom redstone dust, we're going to place another piece of redstone dust here, going up 1 more, and then a repeater going into that block beneath the dispenser, and we're going to need to right click this one, going to 2 and 3 ticks, so it should be 3 ticks once you have it set up. And now all of our dispensers are set up and ready to go. Alright, so now that our dispensers are hooked up, we're going to go back to where our hopper timer was earlier, and we're going to send a redstone signal going from this redstone line here back towards this right hopper. So just send redstone back here, and it will connect up to this redstone block here. And now we can start working on our item sorters that will pull the wheat out of our water stream. So head back to where our button was next to our path blocks here, hop up to this area, the upper block here, and go out 2 blocks and place a chest and another chest there to make it a double. Go to the right side, hold sneak and place a hopper going into this chest. And then going back around, we're going to start working on the item sorter on this left side here. So going back from this hopper, break out 4 blocks here, and then hold sneak and place a hopper going into that one there. And then starting from the back of this trench that we just dug out, place a block going into a repeater that goes into another block here, and that will have a redstone torch on the back of it, powering this hopper on the bottom side here. And then going back from this hopper, place 2 more blocks, and a redstone on the bottom block going up to another, and a comparator going back towards that redstone that we just placed there. And now we're going to do the same thing on this right side here. So go ahead and dig out 4 pieces here, do a block going into a repeater, another block with a redstone torch on the other side, and then hold sneak and place a hopper going into that chest, 2 more blocks coming back, doing redstone dust on the bottom, going up, and a comparator going back towards that redstone there. Now we can go back around towards the button side of this. We're going to place 2 more hoppers here. So hold sneak, and you need to place them on the back side of this comparator here so that they're facing the comparator. So make sure you highlight this side, hold sneak, and place the hopper. Same thing on this left side. And you should be seeing your hoppers facing to the left here. So that's it for the item sorters. Alright, so the last thing that we need to do down here is set up our item elevator that will send our seeds back up to our villagers. So going back between these item sorters here, where we know our seeds will be falling down right behind this chest here, go ahead and dig an extra piece down there, and then dig a 2 tall trench going all the way back. Whoops, don't want to fall down there. Back beneath this redstone, and then 2 more on the other side of this redstone. So there we go for 2. And then to hook up the redstone to our item elevator to shoot the seeds up, we're going to work from our redstone on this side. So this torch behind this normal piston here, we're going to build a stairway down. So dig out 1, then 2, then 3, and then just 3 all the way back until it connects up to where we just dug out our water trench here. And you can break out this piece as well. And then on the left side of this corner where we just joined these up, go ahead and toss 3 pieces of glass going up to the ceiling just to help us out later. The next thing you need to do is go from this corner where we just placed the glass, go down into the trench here, dig out this bottom block, place a sticky piston facing straight up, and then we're going to place one of our first trapdoors here on this left side on the bottom half of the block, so that when it's right-clicked, it's facing straight up like this. But make sure it's facing down just like this for now. The next space is going to be an empty space. The next one up, we're going to place a trapdoor again, right-click that so it's facing up, and do that all the way up on this left side here. So you have trapdoors going all the way down, an empty space, and then your piston with your trapdoor here. From this piston, we're going to have our redstone going out, back towards that staircase that we made earlier, which will go beneath our redstone torch, which will power that whole system there. And on this right side, this is where our water will be coming from, but before we put our water there, what we need to do is get our sides of our item elevator set up. So on the right side of these trapdoors here, you can build a glass tower going all the way up to the ceiling here. And in front, the same thing. So we need glass. Make sure not to block this area here where the water will be, but this one will need glass and that. Don't need that there. Up in the front and on the left side, again, put one right above the redstone there, going up. And for a later purpose, we're going to need a solid block here, glass, and then another solid block here. But because redstone can sometimes interrupt with trapdoors and open them, these solid blocks here are so that we can place levers behind them and make sure that no redstone messes with those trapdoors. So go back behind here, place a lever, switch it on, and same on the bottom, switch it on, and now those trapdoors, we don't have to worry about them getting messed with. And now that those are done, we can grab our bucket of water and head back to the back area here of our water trench, place the water against the backside, and this will wash our seeds into our item elevator. And now our item elevator is all set up and ready to go, and if you want, you can cover up this area so it's a little easier to walk around down here. Just make sure not to block this back area where the seeds will fall into. So yeah, item elevator is ready to go. All right, so now that we're done with all of our redstone down below, we need to place our water up top, but we also need to be careful that we don't wash away all of that hard work we just did down below. So real quickly, we're going to go down below and go to the areas where our water will be above. So this area where all this fence is, there will be water above it. So we're going to block this off, going from our path block all the way against the wall so that no water comes down here. And then going back to where this left dispenser is up above here, go over 2 blocks, plug that up and 1 block behind there. And same thing on this far right dispenser, going over 2 blocks, plug that up where the water will be. So now we can go back up above, climb on up. And on this far left side of this trench, we can place our water. It flows over and we don't have to worry about it going down into our redstone. Same thing on the right side, so that this pushes all of the wheat and seeds over. Go back around to where our dispensers are. And going from this dispenser 2 blocks over towards our villager's house, we're going to break out the piece beneath this glass here. And again, be 100% sure you have a block down here so that you don't wash away your redstone. Place your water and plug that piece back up there. Same thing next to this other dispenser. Going 2 towards the villager's house, break out the piece beneath this glass. Be completely sure you have something blocking this water from falling down. Place the water, and then plug it up there. And now that we have our water going all the way around our farm here, you can go in with your hoe and turn all of this land into farmland. Now that we have all of our water placed around our build here, make sure that you have your 3 buckets filled up with water, and then go into each of your dispensers and place a bucket of water into those, so that when they activate, they will wash away the crops into the front water canal. Alright, so obviously our automatic replanting farm will need its replanter, so we're going to need our villager here, and the easiest way I find to transport villagers in a distance is to use minecarts. You can push the villager into the minecart and then use tracks leading all the way to your farm. And if you don't have any villagers that are close by, or if it's a long distance to the ones you do have, you can always use the nether as a way to transport them. You can put rails in the nether and push them on a minecart through there. It is 8 times as quick as doing it in the overworld. So once you get the guy here, it's important to use a brown robe villager just like this one here. It should look exactly the same. It doesn't matter what their occupation is. They don't have to be a farmer, but they do need to look like this guy here with the brown robe. Once he's here though, as a quick example, I'll show you how to put him in the house. I'm going to put an unpowered rail up top as a brake, build a little wall back behind there to stop him from flying off, and then I'm going to use normal rails to connect this up to the little area that I already have built. Put a powered rail next to him, and power it. It should launch him up all the way up onto the roof, and then I can break out these pieces here, which should drop him into the house, and break out his minecart, which should put him into this top here. You may need to give him a little bit of a nudge here just to get him inside the house, but once he's in there, he's trapped for good, since the door is already locked up. To make sure that our item sorters only take out wheat from the system and that they don't accidentally pick up any of the seeds, we're going to go down with the things that I have in my inventory currently and go to the top hoppers of each of these sorters. So open up the top hopper. We're going to put 1 wheat in the far left side here, and then 21 blocks, so cobblestone works well for this. Just grab 21 of any block, put 1 in the rest of these slots and the rest in the end here, so we have 21 total, and 1 wheat there on the left, and then just place 1 more wheat there, and that goes down into the bottom hopper here. Same thing on the other side, 1 wheat, 21 of the other blocks on these far right ones, and 1 more wheat here so that it goes down into the bottom hopper. And now the item sorters are ready to just pull out the wheat that goes over it, and they won't take any of the seeds. Alright, so the last thing this whole system needs is just the fuel to get it started, and that is the seeds for your villager to start planting. And for this full farm, you would probably need about 85 seeds to toss to your villager to get him to plant the entire thing, since he can only plant with as many seeds as you give him. But if you don't have the full 85 to start it off, what you can do is just block off part of the farm like this here, so that the villager will only see this as the farm and he won't try to go to these further spots. So for instance, now I only have 12 spots that the villager would need to plant. So if I only had 13 seeds, all I'd have to do is toss them to the villager and then start up my system, and then as he gets more seeds each time it harvests, I can just expand this glass out further and further until he has enough to plant the entire thing. But either way you do it, just make sure you give him the seeds, and then all you have to do is press the button to get your system started. Alright guys, well that's pretty much it. You have your full automatic replanting wheat farm ready to go. You can also use this farm for potatoes and carrots, but you have the wheat farm version completely ready to go. All you have to do anytime you want is when they're ready to harvest is press your button and go on your way. The farm takes care of itself, and you can come back to your collection chest to collect your mass amounts of wheat whenever you want to. But yeah, that's pretty much it guys. So I hope this tutorial helped you out. If it did, you can always leave a like on the video. And if you want to see more videos like this, you can always subscribe and check out the rest of my channel. But as always guys, thanks for watching, have an excellent day, and see you later!